What's up, YouTube? It's MasterAquatics and I'm bringing you guys another video. Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Alright, so if you're unfamiliar with this fish, this is Albert. This is my largemouth bass. I love this guy. I caught him a few weeks ago. If you want to see how I caught him, I have a video on that. Make sure you check out the description for that video. In this video, I do a little bit of feeding for Albert. I feed him some live fish that I caught with a cast net. You can also check out that video in the description. But I'm not making this video just to plug in links to other videos. I wanted to show you guys what I've been up to with my 125-gallon tank. So I'm feeding Albert, and I was feeding him live fish, and I was just thinking, you know, what else can I feed this guy? You know, everybody's always saying I need to feed him different foods. I need to feed him something other than worms and, you know, small shiners and minnows. So I was like, you know, what else can I feed this guy? I had to think really hard and just come up with something creative. So originally I was going to feed him some mice, but you know, I didn't think he would go for that, so I had to ditch that idea. And then I was thinking, what else can I feed him? I was thinking of just feeding him some frozen krill like I used to feed my bluegill, and I thought I already feed him krill, so I don't need to give him any more of that. And worms, you guys don't like it when I feed him worms. Small fish, I've already fed him small fish, so I said, why won't I feed him some crabs and some crickets? I haven't seen anybody try to feed their largemouth bass some small crabs and some crickets. These crickets, they were really cheap. I got them from Petco. They were about like 25 cents each. I got about 6 of them. Actually, to be honest, I only asked for 4 and they gave me 6, so Petco hooked it up. Shout out to Petco for hooking up MasterAquatics with them crickets. Unfortunately, Albert didn't really care about crickets, so it was a waste of money on those guys. They just ended up breakdancing for me in the water. That's pretty much it. They didn't really, I mean, look at that. Did you guys just see Albert just swim past them? So I had to delete all the footage of the crickets. It was all for nothing. Nothing really happened when I threw them in there. So I had to really focus on the crabs, and these specific crabs are called fiddler crabs. I really don't have too much information on these guys. I know I'm called MasterAquatics and I gotta know everything that's related to aquatic life, but I've never owned crabs before. And also, I wasn't trying to keep these guys as pets. I was really just trying to feed these to Albert. And I'm really sorry if you guys thought I handled this situation specifically in the wrong way, but I freaked out a little bit when these guys started escaping. Because I didn't know if they could pinch me or not. I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, oh, you're a wimp, you're a wuss or whatever. Hey man, I'm very cautious, okay? I don't want to get pinched by crabs. I'm sorry if you guys think I'm a wuss for that. I'm not really scared of crabs. I just didn't want to get pinched. I mean, who likes getting pinched from crabs? All chaos just broke loose after trying to contain them in that little net. They just would not give up on trying to climb out of that net. So eventually I handled the situation and I managed to get one to drop in there. Unfortunately, Albert did not care for this guy. The first fiddler crab was able to successfully go into the aquarium without any harm done to it. So I was really disappointed, not because I wanted to see something get eaten, but because I was really hoping that Albert would enjoy my gift to him. This was a late Christmas present to him, was to feed him some delicious crabs that cost about $3 each. You know, I thought I was giving him like a really good meal, but I mean, he didn't really appreciate it. Matter of fact, he was really scared of these guys. I tried to throw one right in front of him, and that's what he ended up doing. He ended up hurting himself on the driftwood. He ended up dashing, trying to get away from that crab, and I think he ended up killing the crab. I'm not sure what he did to it. He knocked it out or something, because after I pulled out that driftwood, I found that crab just laying on his back. He was barely moving. He's moving a little bit in this clip, but other than that movement, he wasn't really doing too much. After that, Albert decided to just relax and chill for a little bit in this corner while one of the crabs were posted up and flexing on him. I don't even think he realizes there was a crab behind him ready to pinch him if he decided to do something to him. But like I said, Albert hurt himself hitting that driftwood pretty hard. You can see the bruises on top of his head. You see those white markings. That's from him hitting himself onto that driftwood. So I decided to take that thing out. And I thought this was really funny. I included this clip because he just moved just a little bit and that crab freaked out. And you can see the bruises right there. But eventually Albert got calm again, and he saw the crab and he looked at it and he decided that he does not want to eat crabs. He doesn't like the risk or the potential of him getting hurt by one of their pinchers, so he decided to leave them alone. And that's what he did. The crabs ended up finding a new home in between a rock and underneath my nubias plant. I bought a total of 4, and I ended up losing 1 on the same day I bought these guys, and 3 are remaining in the tank. Albert doesn't bother them at all, and they're pretty cool looking. You know, I really like these crabs, and I wouldn't mind keeping them as a pet. Of course, I got to do a little bit more research. Unless you guys want to help me out, maybe give me some information down in the comment section, because I always read the comments, especially when I'm looking for help and advice. That's where I go and get all my information. So if I am correct, if my thinking is correct, if my understanding is correct on these guys, they pretty much just dig through gravel and substrate and just eat scraps of uneaten food and stuff like that, right? They're pretty much like snails, or they're just scavengers, and they just scavenge around the aquarium and just eating just like, you know, grime and all that stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, so enough about the crabs. So they're in their new homes. So that means I need to make a few changes in this aquarium. I really want to change up how it looks. As of right now, it's pretty bland. I mean, it's not really cool looking. I don't really like it. I set up this aquarium 4 months ago, and I still haven't really decorated it the way I want to. As you can see, there's a few plants scattered about, and I have a few pieces of rock. I don't have that big piece of driftwood anymore because I don't want Albert bumping into it and hurting himself. So I decided to switch it up a little bit. I bought me a 5-pound bag of white sand and a 5-pound bag of white small rocks. I wasn't really too sure as to what I wanted to do with the sand and the rocks, but I knew I wanted to do something. But first things first, I gotta rinse out my rocks and my sand. This is really easy to do. If you guys haven't done this before, you just get a bucket of water, dump the rocks or sand in there, let it sit for about 10 minutes, and you're good to go. These rocks and sand look like they are actually good to go straight from the bag, but I still decided to rinse these guys off just in case there was any dust particles and stuff like that. I don't want anything getting into the aquarium. Always play it safe, especially when it comes to your fish. I love Albert, so I take every precaution seriously. I know a lot of people will say, well, if that's true, then you wouldn't really want to rinse your filter media with tap water. I rinse my filter media with tap water all the time, and my fish do okay. I think it's just the area that I'm in. The water is not so tough when it comes to the chlorine, so I'm able to do that. But as soon as I got the sand substrate on there, Albert immediately noticed, and he decided to take a look at my work and progress, and I think he gave me the approval there to continue and move forward as I add these small rocks. This is also just me winging the decoration and aquascaping part, because I have no idea what I really wanted to do with the white sand and the white rocks. Like I said previously, I just knew that while I'm doing this, I'll come up with ideas and the vision will come together on its own, and I'll eventually create something that looks really good, because I have faith in myself. So after putting sand and rocks in that little area, I decided to get those gray pieces of lava rocks and kind of just pattern them up and set them up in a circle type pattern. And I decided to get my Anubias plant that's attached to driftwood, and place that in the middle of where I move those rocks around. And as you can see, the crab really likes his new home. So that's GoPro footage of the crab, and Albert seemed to like it too because he rushed over here. And this is what it looks like now. It's just a work in progress, and hopefully it looks better. Alright guys, so right now I'm just showing you guys the 20-gallon tank that is in my room. The reason why I'm showing you this tank is because it's pretty dirty and I really need to get it cleaned up. My shiners, they are in a small tank, and even though these are small fish, they need frequent water changes in a small tank. So it's time for me to do my job and play my part in keeping these guys happy and healthy. So I'm going to be doing a water change the old-fashioned way, just like I used to for my baby angelfish, which I would just be using a bucket and hose, and I would just be siphoning out the water by using my mouth. And I will do this 2 times. Each bucket is 5 gallons, so I'm going to drain about 50% of the aquarium. And then I'll go ahead and put 10 gallons of new water back into the aquarium. I'm also going to clean my filters. I haven't cleaned my filters in a while. I have a sponge filter. I also have a aquaclear hang on the back filter. Sponge filters are amazing. They are a great addition to any hang on the back filters. They definitely help keep the water clean. I highly recommend one. I have a few links that will lead you back to Amazon if you decide to purchase one just like mine. Check out the links in the description. I promise you won't be disappointed if you do decide to order one of these sponge filters or one of these hang on the back filters. Alright, so let's go ahead and clean a 20-gallon tank. I know I'm excited about this. I'm not sure about you guys. Let's go ahead and get going. Let's make sure these guys get some clean water. Alright guys, you can't really see, but I have my bucket of tank water that I just siphoned out from here, and I decided to take out my hang on the back filter and my sponge filter. They are in the tank water now. I'm going to be squeezing my sponge filter in this tank water to clean it, and I'm also going to be cleaning the hang on the back filter media in this water, and then I'll come back and I'll go ahead and take out some more water from here, and then I'll go ahead and put the filters back in. Let's do it. Alright, so this is the lid of the hang on the back filter that I use. Again, this is by AquaClear, as you can see from the logo here. So inside of the AquaClear hang on the back filter, it's going to be filled with water if you're taking it out of the aquarium. In the aquaclear filter, it has this little basket where it contains all of the media. As you can see, I don't have any carbon in here. I just have some biomedia, and I have one of these things right here. I'm drawing a blank as to what these are called, but as you can see, it's filthy. It is absolutely dirty. So I'm just gonna squeeze it a few times in here, and it's gonna turn my water all nasty and brown. So just giving it a few squeezes, just like that. Alright, and as you can see, it's starting to look better. This was originally pink, by the way, but since I've used it for a long time, it's starting to change colors. So I'm just trying to get as much junk out of there as possible. I'm going to get this nice and clean so I can use this again. Alright, so it's fairly clean. Now the only thing we have left to clean is this sponge filter. So I like to take the plastic tip off first. And then I have my sponge filter here. I put it inside the water. And then sometimes I'll take it out and squeeze it just like that. But you can also squeeze it underwater as well. And that's pretty much how you clean a sponge filter. Again, if you'd like to buy these, check the description. I'll have a link to Amazon's website where you can order these. And these are very beneficial to your aquariums, especially if you have very small fish, such as baby fish. These are pretty much baby-proof filters. And you can also use these even when you're not raising baby fish. You can use these just for additional filtration. They're very easy to set up. I'll also have a video in the description showing you how to set this up. I made a video on how to set up a sponge filter about a year or two ago, and a lot of people seem to find it helpful, so check it out. It might be beneficial to you too as well. It's really brown and dark in there. It is so disgusting. Look at all that nasty stuff. This is all from the fish tank and also from the filtration that I was using. So you know these filtration were doing their job, because that's how dirty that water is just from cleaning out those two pieces of filters. But we're gonna go ahead and dump this water out. Absolutely disgusting. Alright guys, so I am filling the tank back up with water. This is how I'm doing it. I got a table with the bucket of water on top. I got the hose siphoning water out of the bucket into the tank. After I put that water back in here, I'm gonna go ahead and put the filtration back in here, and these guys will get fed. So it's a little bit cleaner in my tank after doing that water change. Sponge filter looks a little bit cleaner. My filter also looks a little bit cleaner. I just lifted up the lid of the 20-gallon tank, and these guys are going crazy. They want to eat, they're hungry. I want to feed them, but this time I want to try a different food brand. So I just got some bug bites, and this is the cichlid formula. Originally I was going to use this food to feed the fish in the 29-gallon tank, but these pellets are really small. It says for small to medium cichlid fish, but these pellets are really small. They're like the perfect size for these minnows, but not a good size for fish this size right here. So, but they seem to love this stuff. I threw this in the first time and they loved it, and I'm gonna throw it in again, and I'm gonna record them eating this stuff so you guys can watch. Alright, here we go. So I'm just gonna dump a bunch of it in here, and they are just gonna go absolutely nuts for it. But so this is a little bit different. The food is a little bit thicker, it's harder. They still go for it, but they're not able to gulp it down as fast as they would for flakes. So they seem to enjoy it, but I don't think they've gotten used to the food yet. This stuff is definitely gonna help them get extremely big. They're gonna get a lot bigger and grow a lot faster with this stuff. You can see that guy right there just pecking away and just eating them one by one. Alright guys, so it seems like they enjoyed it. My name is MasterAquatics, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm ending the video right here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the whole video. If not, then I'm sorry for letting you down. See you next time. Bye.